I hate starting a video off this way, but I gotta let you guys know there will be no final order cutoff, speculation, and recommendations video this week because this Friday is the 4th of July. And us in America, we do big celebrations. And Stephanie and I have off from work on Thursday and Friday. So we're gonna do something really fun with our kids this 4th of July. So yeah, no final order cutoff video for you guys this week, but I hope you guys are out doing something really fun and no one will really miss the fact that I was not able to make that video for you guys this week. At least that's what I hope. But I am gonna try to sneak in a haul video on Wednesday, so that way you guys at least get 2 videos this week, and I can share with you guys some awesome ratio covers that I picked up over like the last month or so. So yeah, no final order cutoff, but we do have the Wednesday pull list this week. So let's go ahead and dive into today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Guys, today is Monday. What is today? Today is July 1st of 2024. We're 2 days away from the recording of this video. I might not get this video out until Tuesday, which will only be 1 day away until the new comic book day, which is the best day of the work week. That is the day we get our hands on those amazing new comic books, and there are some really cool books coming out this week. Some amazing covers that I gotta show you guys. So let's not waste any more time. I'm gonna get you pumped, and I'm gonna get you excited, and we're gonna start this video off by showing off my pull list. Alright guys, as you can see, this list is much smaller than the last few weeks. The last few weeks have been absolutely gigantic, but there's only 17 books up on here. It was so nice not to feel the pressure to have to read like 25 to 30 comics over the weekend. But guys, you can't see what those books are, so let me go ahead and throw them up on screen right now. Guys, there are a total of 17 comics on my pull list this week. There are 3 new #1s, and if we break down this list a little bit more, there are 7 DC books, 3 Marvel, and 6 independent titles. Now, I read all the previous issues to the books that you see on screen right now, so each one of these books could make the top 3 list, but only 3 books do. Now, I can tell you right now, all the books that I read this week were actually really enjoyable, so there are no books on the chopping block this week. So we can go ahead and dive right into my cover liver picks. Alright guys, one thing I haven't covered just yet is what is the date for this week's new comic day. And this week's new comic day is July 3rd of 2024. And with all the covers that are coming out this week, I only found 5 covers that I absolutely love. I'm really excited to get my hands on 2 of them, but I cannot wait to show you each one of these. So let's go ahead and dive into these covers. And the first one up is Batman issue number 150, the cover E variant, which is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Chris Samnee. This cover is awesome. I freaking love it, and I love the fact that Batman is smiling. I like the bright pink pop in the background. It is just a gorgeous cover in my opinion. And yeah, I cannot wait to get my hands on this cover. Now guys, next up is Venom, issue number 35. This is the Deadpool Kills variant done by Ivan Coelho. They've been putting out so many of these covers. I think one for every single title at Marvel Comics. And this one right here is hands down my favorite so far. This is so freaking good. You got Venom in front of the speakers, and then you got the speakers just like blowing off on the symbiote. It is so good. Alright guys, next up is probably my favorite cover of the week. This is Poison Ivy, issue number 24 with the cover B in the cover E. And the cover E is the 1:50 ratio variant done by David Nakayama. Now the 1:50 is a version, even though they do keep the DC logo on the cover. But guys, this cover is so good. I've said it so many times. I love seeing our superheroes and supervillains and anti-heroes just doing normal human things. And this one right here just has Poison Ivy in this nice little tank top, watering her flowers, and then you got these skulls over here on the side. So freaking good. Now guys, next up is Poison Ivy issue number 24. This is the cover C variant done by Simon DeMeo. This is gorgeous. I'm a big Simon DeMeo fan, and I think this cover right here is so good. I just like the colors, I like the line work, I just like everything about this cover. His work is just, it is amazing. Now the final cover that I want to show you guys is Free Agents issue number 1 with the cover B variant done by Kevin Maguire. This features one of the new characters in this book, and her name is Chalice. Or Chalice, or however you pronounce her name. It's at the bottom of the cover. But guys, this is really good. And if you're in Defeat, you might like this cover a lot. Just look at the bottom of the cover. if you're a feet guy or feet girl, there you go. All right, guys, those are the 5 covers that I really liked coming out on this week's New Comic Book Day. Let's go ahead and go over to the next section, which is the new number 1 I think you guys have to be excited about. Taking a quick break from the video to ask each and every one of you guys who are watching this video right now, do me a favor and smash that like button. It helps out the channel so much if you guys could do that for me. So just do it real quick. Smash, smash. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out this new number 1. Alright guys and girls, there are 3 new number 1s on my pull list, and the first 2 I'm kind of excited for, but the last one I'm really stoked for. So let's go ahead and cover those first 2 real quick, and the first one up is Absolute Power issue number 1. That is that big crossover event over at DC Comics that's gonna like take over the whole line, but I gotta tell you, crossover events really don't do it for me anymore. They always land poorly and they're always lackluster. I did enjoy crossover events back in like the early 2000s, and ever since then I think they aren't really that great. So I'm not overly excited, but maybe Joshua Williamson is going to do something big and exciting with that. But then there's also Thundercats Chitara issue number 1 with that amazing Sozo Micah cover, but I gotta tell you, the Thundercats series right now is okay. It's not great. I want it to be better, but I gotta at least check out this spin-off series featuring one of my favorite Thundercats, Chitara. She's sexy, she's got speed, and she's just a really cool character from the 80s that I used to love a lot when I was a kid. So I at least gotta check out this spin-off series from Thundercats, Chitara issue number 1. But the book I'm really excited for is Spider-Man Reign Volume 2 issue number 1. Now this is coming from the writer-artist of Kari Andrews, and I'm going to be super honest with you guys right from the jump. I did not read volume 1, so I have no idea what the story is about, but I like Kari Andrews a lot as a writer and an artist. If you guys did not read Erratic, you guys are missing out. That story is so freaking good, and every time I see his name on a book, I at least gotta check it out because I really enjoy his art style and I really enjoy his writing style as well. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. Back to the Amazing Spider-Man's future. Award-winning writer and artist Kari Andrews returns to the world of Spider-Man's dystopian future in this sequel to the landmark, genre-defying Spider-Man Reign. And who is the new Black Cat? What tragedies and triumphs await this older, grizzled Peter Parker? Peter isn't the only one who's aged. Wait until you see what's happened to Miles Morales. Now, that's a little hint, and we even get an even bigger hint of what's happened if you check out the variant covers. The first variant cover done by Kari Andrews, we see Miles Morales holding the headstone of Peter Parker, but he looks like gigantic, like he's hulked out. That is so freaking cool. And speaking of variant covers, there is one by Mike Del Mundo, which doesn't look anything like a Mike Del Mundo cover, but it's really freaking good. There's also a really cool Scotty Young cover, and there's also a 1:100 version ratio variant for the main cover. And there's 2 others. I forget who the artists are. I'll put them up on screen right now so that way you guys can see them as well. But guys, I'm excited for this. And you guys know I love Elseworlds Tales, so I cannot wait to dive into this. And if I really enjoyed this series, I'll probably most likely go back and at least pick up volume 1 so that I can maybe possibly read that in the future when I have time, but I never have time. Time is like one thing I do not have. All right, guys, that is the new number 1 that I'm really excited about, and I hope you guys are now too. But let's go ahead and dive into the top 3 books that I think you guys have to be picking up this week because I think the stories are gonna be the best this week. Alright guys and girls, my number 3 book this week is Scarlet issue number 2. Now this is coming from the writer of Kelly Thompson. It has art by Marco Frieri. Now this is another book within the Energon universe, which includes Transformers and G.I. Joe, 2 of my favorite franchises from when I was a kid. But I gotta tell you, I really don't remember anything from the G.I. Joe cartoon, but from watching it as a kid, I remember the intro song, I remember some of the intro animation, but that's pretty much it. I really don't remember any of the characters all too strongly. So I can tell you right now, this was a great introduction to the character of Scarlet. We got a great backstory for her, we got what's going on with her right now, which is a great little story, and then we got introduced to some other characters that she is connected to. One called Jinx, which I guess is her friend, like a really good friend. She was roommates with her. and then another character called Storm Shadow. Now, Storm Shadow, I remember the little figurine. I remember playing it a lot when I was a kid, or playing with him a lot when I was a kid, which sounds terrible when I say playing with him. But he was a great character, and I really liked his action figure. But this was just a really solid introduction to the character of Scarlet. Now, the one thing for me that I did not love about this book is that I did not personally love the artwork, especially when you compare it to the artists that are on Transformers, Cobra Commander, Duke, Destro. Marco Fierra's art just doesn't hold up when you compare it to those artists, in my opinion. It wasn't terrible, it didn't distract from the story at all, I just didn't love it. It didn't sell me on G.I. Joes per se. On a different story, I think his artwork would work a lot better. But overall, this story was really enjoyable, and I'm excited to read where the story is going to go and what characters we're going to be introduced to. So overall, a must-read in my opinion, especially if you're enjoying the Energon universe like I am. Alright guys, that is the number 3 book. Let's go ahead and find out what my number 2 is. Alright guys, my number 2 book this week is Doctor Strange, issue number 17. This is coming from the writer of Jed MacKay and art by Pascal Ferry. Now, the reason why this is in the number 2 spot is because the continuity of this book is so freaking good. And I also love that this does not feature just Doctor Strange. No, it features a whole cast of amazing characters, and Jed MacKay does such a great job of weaving all these stories together, all these different storylines to make them make sense and make every single enjoyable, and moves them forward ahead just a little at a time, and keeps you coming back wanting for those stories to keep going a little bit further and a little bit further. And in this book right here, we got a little bit of Wong, we got a little bit of Bats, and we got most of it was Doctor Strange, but not the Doctor Strange you're thinking of. No, Victor Strange. Now, Victor Strange, I guess, is a vampiric brother of Doctor Strange from another timeline or a different multiverse that is now stuck on Earth on 616, but was killed, but then trapped into a mirror zone where he's been sitting for a long time. And then he escaped, and then he was now stuck in Doctor Strange's vampiric body. What? So freaking cool. And it's just, again, I love that all these storylines are so interwoven, and this is a great Blood Hunt tie-in because it's written by Jed MacKay. And if you look at the Blood Hunt tie-in, some of the major characters are characters that he's writing for, then he's taking those stories and interweaving them in so seamlessly. It is fan-freaking-tastic. Now, another thing, I don't love the art by Pascal Ferry, but he's been on this book, I think, since the jump on issue number 1. So I'm used to it at this point. It's not terrible. It's not great. I wish there was someone better on this book, but overall, it's fine. It's just fine. But the story by Jed MacKay, that is where it's at. And we didn't get any Doctor Strange or Claire Strange in issue number 16. So are they going to be back in issue number 17? I don't know, but I really don't care because I want more Bats and I want more Wong, and I like the Wand Agency or whatever it's called, the group that Wand's working for, because that group is so good. But guys, this is a fantastic book, and I'm really excited to get my hands on issue number 17. The variant covers, there is a Deadpool Kills variant, which is okay, and there's also a cover by Lee Garbett, which is really good in my opinion. Probably the best cover. I did just pick up cover A myself, but that Lee Garbett cover is really freaking good. Alright guys, that is the number 2 book. Let's go ahead and find out my number 1 book that I think you guys have to be reading this week because this story is the best coming out this week. Alright guys, the number 1 book for me this week is Batman issue number 150. I am so excited for this issue, especially after reading issue number 149 and 148 and 147. Those last 3 issues were absolutely amazing. Now this is coming from the writer of Chip Zdarsky and has art by Jorge Jimenez and Denny's Cowman. But guys, issue number 150 is a milestone issue for the current run. It is not a milestone issue for the overall Batman run or the Legacy run. I will put where we are on that up on screen right now because I didn't write it down before recording this video. But guys, this series by Chip Zdarsky has had its low lows, and it's not so high highs, but like some pretty good stuff. But issue number 149 was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And I would include issues number 147 and 48 in that because it was a whole build up to Batman being Batman again. But not like the old grumpy Batman. No, the Batman that like wants his family around him, knows he cannot fight the crime of Gotham in the world without his Bat family around him. And that is the best version of Batman for me. I just absolutely love family stories and family lifting each other up and helping each other. It's the best. And in issue number 149, there was a great story that really focused on this character that was made during the whole failsafe Zurt and Raw story. It was a clone of Batman who was Robin, but we found out in issue number 149 he was rapidly aging. And Bruce was doing his best to help this character, and it was awesome. He couldn't help him, but it was a great story arc that brought a lot of the family together and showed how much Bruce cared not only for his family but for this character, and how much he cares just for people in general. And it was awesome. It was really heartwarming. There was a really cheesy moment where this character sacrificed a part of himself to be able to give that part of himself to Bruce Wayne, because they're both Bruce Wayne, because the clone is of Bruce. And it was cheesy, but I ate it up. I was like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. And yeah, it was great. And there was a great ending to issue number 149 because Bruce is setting up a new base within Gotham, because the old mansion was outside of Gotham. He'd always had to race into Gotham, but now he's set up in Gotham. He bought a new mansion. It's awesome. It's gonna be so good. And he brought the whole Bat family in, and he's letting them pick their own rooms. It was so good. It was such a great moment and a great ending to issue number 149. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to see where this story is going to go, because I have a feeling that Chip is gonna like embrace this softer version of Bruce. I don't want to say soft because Batman's gonna be hard no matter what, but I think he's gonna just like bring his family around him more, and Bruce is gonna to accept that, and I hope it's gonna be awesome. I hope we're gonna get a lot of little fun stories with Bruce and each one of his like Bat family members. It could be really, really good. Now, there is a backup story in this issue, which is a big Absolute Power tie-in, and it's going to be written by Chip Zdarsky, which I believe is the main writer on the Absolute Power. Or is that Joshua Williamson? I can't remember. I'm blanking right now, but there is going to be a big backup story by Chip Zdarsky and Mike Hawthorne on the back of this, featuring Batman and Catwoman, and I love when those two are together. That could be fantastic. Are they going to come back together again? I hope so, and that was also teased in issue number 149, and I love those two together. So, yeah, I'm really excited for Batman again. I really am, and I hope you guys will check this out, especially if you guys are Batman fans and you kind of fell off. Come back on. It's good again. All right, guys. Now, we got to talk about the variant covers. There is a cover B done by Dustin Gwynn, which is okay. There is a Matina variant for the cover C, which I thought they were pulling a lot of the Matina covers because he was like, you know, doing AI stuff when he wasn't supposed to. There's a cover D, which I can't remember the artist for, which is an artist spotlight. I don't really like those. The 1 in 25 is definitely my favorite, and the 1 in 50 is done by Tirso Cons, and this one is okay, but guys, make sure you're keeping an eye out for the Tirso Cons Catwoman covers because those are really good. They're coming out, I believe, next month and the month after that as well. All right, guys, that is my number 1 book that I think you guys have to be reading this week. Let's go ahead and cover the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. All right, guys, the not top 3, but the books you gotta see is when I go over the rest of the books on my pull list and I give you little nuggets of information of why I like the book, love the book, kind of am enjoying it, maybe I'm not enjoying it all that much, or why I think you guys might not want to pick up those books. But that's very rarely happens because I collect really good stuff, guys. But guys, let's go ahead and cover these books. And first up is Barbaric, Born in Blood, issue number 2. I gotta tell you guys, if you have not read any of Barbaric, go back and pick up like the first 3 or 4 volumes. It is so good. Michael Morici is such a fantastic writer. It's funny, it's action-packed, bloody, a little sexy. There is so much to like about this book. Read this book, and this new volume is really enjoyable so far. After that is Birds of Prey, issue number 11. This story is a little wacky. It's a little out there. The Birds of Prey team are stuck in this little pocket dimension that was created by this person with metahuman powers, and they're going from like timeline to timeline, but each timeline is brought about by one of the Birds of Prey. It's, like I said, it's out there, it's a little wacky, but I'm still enjoying it. It's a fun book, and the artwork is fantastic. All right, guys, next up is The Boy Wonder, issue number 3. I really enjoyed issue number 2. Number 1, I didn't like that much, but issue number 2 was written, I don't know if the writing was a little bit better or the story was moving a little bit faster, but there's good action in it. There's a great story in there. That in issue number 2 was featured Red Hood and Damian, which was great. The interaction between them was solid, and I just liked the overall story a lot more than issue number 1. So I hope this story continues to get better, and the artwork was okay. It's a little out there, but overall, I think this book is really good and you should check it out. Next up, at Deadpool, issue number 4. Issue number 3 was okay. I don't love the writing style by Cody Ziegler in this. There's good moments, there's some not so good moments, but overall the story is good, but this could be great. Deadpool needs to be a great book at Marvel Comics. Everyone should be yelling and screaming and telling everyone they need to be reading it, but it's only okay. The artwork is good, the story is okay, I want this to be better. Next up is Gunslinger Spawn issue number 33. I read issue number 32 yesterday. It's good. This series continues to surprise me. I'm not loving it. I'm not hating it. It is just a solid Spawn book. I'm enjoying all the Spawn books. Next up, Justice Society of America, issue number 10. Now, this series has been delayed and delayed. In reading issue number 9 today, I felt lost. I don't remember a lot of the story from the previous issues because there's been so much time between those issues. The artwork by Mikhail Janin is fantastic. This is written by Jeff Johns, so the overall story is still good, but the delays are killing it for me. Totally killing it for me. Next up, Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 22. 21, okay. The artwork was poor. The story was kind of like all over the place. I didn't love it. Yeah, this was a bad issue. Issue number 21 was a bad issue. So I'm not over excited about this, but this story as a whole, or this run by Cody Ziegler, has had its highs and its lows. And we're at another low part. This is a Blood Hunt tie-in. Let's get over this Blood Hunt stuff. Let Miles Morales get back to his own story, because when it was only about him and his family, that was great. But this Blood Hunt stuff, let's I don't know. Skip it until then, I guess. I don't know. Next up, Poison Ivy, issue number 24. I love this series as a whole. Issue number 23 was so-so. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. There were some okay moments in it, but overall, nothing fantastic in issue number 23. So that's why that issue did not make the top 3 list. But overall, this story as a whole, fan-freaking-tastic. Be reading this, and the variant covers for this are always so good. Next up, Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue number 4. Issue number 3 was really good. It almost made the top 3 list. It's a fantastic murder mystery story. Has nothing to do with spawns just yet, just a gruesome murders happening in this town. Sam and Twitch are in a big fight. They're separated. Twitch is out doing this, investigating away from the city, and it's really good. Really good, and the murders are crazy. Crazy. Next up, The Scorched, issue number 31. 30 was okay. This is probably the worst issue I've read of Spawn so far, or in all the Spawn tie-ins, was issue number 30 of The Scorched. It just was kind of weak. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. Definitely moved the story along for the Scorched team and each character as a whole, and I'm excited to see where the story is going to go. I just didn't love issue number 30. You know that happens sometimes when you're reading a lot of a series, just not every single issue hits, just like the Miles Morales. It wasn't very good. After that is Shazam, issue number 13. Fun story. This story as a whole is really fun. It's definitely written for a younger audience, but overall, I really like the Shazam family. I like what's going on with it. I think they're doing a great job with this book, and I think you guys should be checking it out. And yeah, that is the final book on this, not top 3, but the books you gotta see. So we can go ahead and wrap this video up. Alright guys, we are at the end of today's video, and I'm just gonna tell each and every single one of you who are still watching this video right now, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you guys have not smashed that like button just yet, do me a favor and smash that like button. And after you do that, I can let you guys know, you guys are legends. Thank you guys so much. Now, last but not least, if you guys watched that video and you guys enjoy comic book content, but that subscribe button is not hit, you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I'm just gonna say, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notification, and smash that like button. Alright guys, that might be it for me this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that haul video done in time. I have recorded some more for the $100 to $1,000 challenge. I'm going to record some more later today or early tomorrow morning. And yeah, hopefully get that next video out in like 2 or 3 weeks time. I got to do some more work for that, but I'm working on it. Alright guys, have yourself a great new comic book day, a fantastic 4th of July, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.